Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before I start building on the subject matter for the day. Got about 30, 40 minutes to build on this particular subject matter, man. So hopefully y'all got a, y'all got about 30 minutes to spare on this wonderful Saturday morning. Hopefully this week treated y'all good, man, and now y'all resting up, man, just taking in, soaking up knowledge, wisdom, gaining an understanding. So how y'all living out here, man? How y'all feeling on this wonderful, beautiful Saturday morning? It's cold on my end, but everything is good, man. We inside with the heat. Anaya is Peach Queen. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling on this Saturday? Y'all see the subject matter for the day. Airview Peace, what's happening? Y'all see what we talking about for the day. We talking about teaching. Lachelle Peace, what's happening, Queen? Beast by Bless. Peace, what's happening, my brother? Prodigal Son, peace, what's the word? And nice, there we go. Healing every day, let's get it. Healing every day. Mindset of an introvert, peace, peace. Splash the dawn. We ain't even got to say Black Jesus, you know what I'm saying? We could just say Jesus, you know? We ain't even gotta say Black Jesus, man. It's only if he existed, there's only one, and he would have looked like this. At least he would have been black with some long hair. But how y'all living though? What's the word? We talking about teaching today. That's what we talking about. We talking about teaching. We talking about the black man teaching the black woman. We talking about teaching. We talking about these sisters and how y'all need to prioritize getting you a black man that is willing to teach you some things in life. You got some sisters out here that a lot of times people say that the stigma is that black men, we are intimidated by a woman that has her stuff together. We are intimidated by intelligent women. That's normally the word on the streets. But people don't talk about the reverse. People don't talk about some sisters possibly being intimidated by a brother that's tapped in, by a brother that has intelligence, by a brother that has some knowledge, by a brother that's got his life together. People don't talk about that a lot. Because the way things have reversed these days, that is fairly common for a woman to be intimidated. I have heard silly things by some women in the physical, saying things like they don't want to talk to a dude that they feel is smarter than them. You have some women, they don't want to talk to a dude that's making more money than them. Like, I've literally heard these type of statements being made. So a lot of times people don't talk about the intimidation when it comes to a black man with knowledge of himself, with some intelligence, some extreme, supreme intelligence, and a sister being intimidated by that. That actually happens. That actually happens. Magic Realms, peace, what's the word? So a lot of times we not having that discussion. There are sisters out here that are intimidated by brothers that have their head on straight. You know what I'm saying? That's coming with some intelligence. That's coming, especially when the brother is coming from an angle that goes against the way of life of the particular sister. So if a brother is coming with some intelligence, if a brother is coming with some knowledge and some wisdom that goes against what the sister is believing at that time, and he semi making sense to her, that can be a form of intimidation. So a lot of people do not talk about that aspect of it. 4 elements, peace, what's the word? But I'm here to tell my sisters, man, please listen, that's one of the best decisions that you will make. Getting you a brother, getting you a black man that is willing to teach you. I'm telling y'all that y'all will listen. If you are a sister and you have that, you understand what I'm talking about. That is another level of like love and somebody caring for you. Somebody that's willing to teach you. If you going through a physical ailment and you got a brother that they foundation is knowledge and information, you going through an ailment, well, that brother's going to do some studying. He going to do the knowledge if he don't have the knowledge already. And he going to let you know why you suffer from this ailment and what you can do about it. Like that's a different level of love, man, when that brother is teaching you, providing you with information, doing the knowledge to your situation, things that you may be facing, and he's willing to teach you to help you get up out of this situation. When you keep prioritizing these brothers that don't want to learn anything, don't want to read books, don't want to research, don't want to watch documentaries and things like that, when you going through something, now you got to do all the work yourself to try to figure out how to reverse the situation, how to fix the situation. You get you a brother that they value knowledge, they value teaching, that's a burden that's lifted off of your shoulders. You going through something, he's like, man, I got you. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to read this book, and then I'm going to teach you what I learned from this book. You sit back. I got it. I'm going to do the knowledge to the situation, and I got you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to reverse this situation. I'm going to teach you how to fix it. Telling y'all, people be sleeping on brothers that I'm describing. People sleep on them. Patrick, peace, what's happening? Prodigal, oh yeah, for sure. For sure, like, they done been programmed to think, and you know, because in the media, the way they display it, you know, they'll tell you that black women got more degrees than black men, like that's a symbol of intelligence. So it's like, on the surface, black women are trained to view black men as inferior as far as the intellect goes. That's how they have programmed a lot of our sisters. So a lot of our sisters naturally think they are more intelligent than the black man because of the media programming, the media conditioning. So this was done by design. Obviously, they were not designed to view a white man in that same regard. So when that white man dropped the same information that I dropped, they gonna view it differently. They may be more receptive to it. And that's just in general, even outside of sisters. Like, we do that with white people in general, subconsciously and sometimes consciously. That's why when I'm talking about some health information, people looking at me like, oh, he's crazy. But then the white doctor come and say the same thing that I just said, and everybody want to listen to him. Because we still program, a lot of us are still programmed to view white as something that is superior. But a lot of the sisters are programmed to believe that they are superior intellectually, more superior intellectually than the black man. So a lot of times, man, when you bring in certain things to the table as a black man, as far as the intellect goes, as far as the wisdom goes, they looking at you like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And I know people that have been there, done that. How many times have you dropped knowledge to a sister black man, and instead of her believing what you said, which is cool, and I'm not mad at you fact checking what I said, but how many times have you seen you drop some knowledge on a sister? Knowledge making sense, but they don't trust what you are saying, so then they got to go back and look it up, opposed to when a white person tell them, and they run back and may tell you what this white dude has said as if it's law, and they never fact checked it. That happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? Instead of somebody trusting what the black man said, when it comes to the black man saying something, a lot of times that's when we got to get the evidence. That's when we got to read. That's when we want to research now. But if a white doctor tell you, we view the white person as the research. That's how crazy it is. We view the white person or the white doctor saying it as the research. So we don't feel like we need to dig any deeper because that's the research right there. But if a brother says something, then now everybody want to fact check what the brother is saying, which is cool. But fact check the white folks and what they saying as well. But we use the white people information as the fact checking information. As crazy as that sounds. So when the white person says something, we don't feel like we have to fact check it most of the time. So I done seen that plenty of times to where a brother tell a sister something, she ain't believing it out the gate, and she finna look up all these white sources to confirm what it is that he's saying. Opposed to if a white person says something, then they like, all right, cool, white dude said it must be right. The wife is in the building, y'all say peace to the wife. Beach reincarnated, peace, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's crucial. When you come across a brother that not only has the knowledge itself, but again, just learning is a critical component in regards to their foundation. Like, you got to embrace that, brother, man. Stop chasing the ignorance. Stop talking about you want these street dudes. Like, stop doing that. I'm telling you, when you get a brother and his foundation is knowledge, like, you can do no wrong. You can do no wrong when you get you the right brother, man, when y'all mesh. And this brother, his foundation is knowledge. I'm telling you, they going to help you out every step of the way, no matter what you're going through, because they value knowledge. They always striving to learn. So if they look at challenges, trials, and tribulations as opportunities to learn more. So if you present that brother, the brother that values knowledge, the brother that values information, if you present that brother with a problem, they like, all right, cool, this is my opportunity to learn about something. I'm telling you, that is the type of brother that you want on your team. That is the type of brother that you want as a partner. That is the brother that you want in your life. Like that's literally the type of man that you want. I'm telling you, that is the type of man that you want. A man that is willing to teach you. A man that is willing to teach you. Now, of course, every time I say something along these lines, a lot of brothers say, well, these women don't want to listen. Again, if she is not listening, if she's not receptive to what it is that you are striving to teach, then it's like one or two things. Maybe y'all are not compatible, and maybe your approach is off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one or two things. If y'all not compatible, man, if it's just not a good mix, then of course you're not going to listen to what it is that you're striving to teach. It's time for you to move on. You can't force it. You know what I'm saying? You can't force somebody to listen to what it is that you're striving to teach. So again, if the person is not really receptive to it, then okay, that should tell you all you need to know, instead of you trying to force it because you may be attracted to this person for other reasons. So if that person is not receptive to what it is that you are striving to teach and introduce, then okay, that should tell you what you need to know. Like maybe this will not work, because you got to at least be receptive to what's being introduced. If they just instantly writing it off, like, man, I'm not listening to this, I'm not entertaining that, I don't want to hear anything about that. It's like you might need to reevaluate the relationship. You may need to reevaluate the situation and consider moving on. And then just analyze your approach. You know what I'm saying? How are you introducing the information? A lot of times when brothers say that, the introduction is off, the approach is off. You know what I'm saying? So if your approach is off, if you're not introducing this information in a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying? Everybody learns differently, and you got to approach people differently. So if you are approaching them in a way that they don't need to be approached, then you got to examine that. You got to examine that and reevaluate everything based on that and change up the approach. So again, that's crucial, man. So you got to gain the understanding in regards to why they may not be receptive to this information. Maybe it's not the right time for them to come across this information. You know what I'm saying? Timing is everything too. You got to understand that timing is everything. You know what I'm saying? So it may not be a situation where they're not receptive. It may just be that it's not time. They're not ready for this information. They're not ready for this lifestyle change. And you are able to sense that. You are able to sense the difference between a person that they don't care about what you're talking about. They don't ever want to care about what you're talking about, opposed to the person that they may not care at the moment, but eventually down the line, it's like they may be receptive to it. They just not ready. It's a different ball game. So when you get that vibe, when a person just not ready to receive the information yet, but you know in the future, it's like, all right, maybe they're going to gravitate towards this way of life in the future, then that's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. Lindell, peace, what's the word? Whole different ball game. You know, so when you get that vibe, like, man, they not ready to make this change yet. Like I done had plenty of dudes talk about wanting to change the way that they are eating. You know what I'm saying? They want to go vegan. They want to go plant-based. And they be with a sister that is not vegan, not plant-based. And it's like, what's the approach? And I'm like, are they totally writing it off? Or can you see them down the line eventually transitioning? You know what I'm saying? So if they just instantly writing it off like they'd never do this, then you may have a problem. You may have a situation. You may have a, you know what I'm saying? You may have a difficult situation. But if they telling you, I'm just not ready yet, I just don't want to make the change now, it's too much, be patient. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too. Lead by example. You know what I'm saying? When they see you living the life, when they see you living out your reality, and they see you staying committed and consistent with it, then eventually they're going to be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I see my man's getting down. He's staying consistent. He's staying committed. I don't want to hold him back. I'm going to go ahead and jump on board too. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be the role model. What they say, be the change that you would like to see. This also goes for like relationships as well. You know what I'm saying? Be the change that you want to see. So if you want to see your whole family eat better, then you got to lead by example. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? If you got a whole family and you trying to change the way the whole family eats, you're not going to wake up one day and the whole family just going to be vegan and plant-based. It's not going to happen. It may happen for you, but you can't expect for the whole family to get on board instantly like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's slow and steady wins the race with that, man. So you got to understand that it's not going to happen overnight, and you just got to make sure you committed and you consistent to the lifestyle. Justin, Ricky, Peace, Shantae, Peace Queen, what's happening? Oh yeah, prodigal son for sure, man. And again, like I said, the approach is everything. The approach, the delivery, you know what I'm saying? It's everything. It's everything. And outside of the approach and the delivery, them seeing you live out the reality. You know what I'm saying? That's also a key component. Them seeing you live out the reality and staying consistent with it and not being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? When they see that you not being a hypocrite, when they see that you're not contradicting yourself and you fully devoted and committed to a lifestyle, it's like, okay, all right, he teaching it and he also living it. Respect. Respect. All four elements for sure. Definitely that's an actual fact right there. Definitely an actual fact. That's why I said you got to thoroughly assess the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got the person that's instantly writing you off and you like, all right, this ain't gonna never work. Yeah, and you able to pick up on that vibe, man. You able to pick up when somebody just, you feel like they will probably never try to like implement what it is that you talking about or living and things like that. You know when it's not gonna work. You know when they just not interested at all. You know what I'm saying? You know that. You would get that vibe almost instantly, opposed to the person that it just may take some time for them to like come around. Especially, and when I say come around, I'm talking about things that will help the person. You know what I'm saying? Like healthy eating will help everybody. You know what I'm saying? So with things like that, man, like some people, you know, they will eventually come around. Like they not about to drastically make that change overnight, but like healthy eating is something that benefits everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking about teaching and implementing certain things, I'm talking about implement things that will benefit the whole. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to try to have you implement something that I feel like would be destructive to you. You know what I'm saying? So things that I feel like will be beneficial to the whole, that those are the things that I'm talking about. That eventually you feel like they should come around to it. Like everybody should eventually come around to eating healthier. But they're not gonna come around to it instantly. Like, but eventually you might need to come around to eating healthier because that's a critical component again in regards to the foundation. We gotta be around. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be around, we gotta be healthy, we gotta be our best selves. In order for us to be that, we gotta watch what we eat, we gotta exercise, we gotta do all those things. The 18th letter, peace, peace. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So again, things that you know beneficial and helpful for the whole. You know what I'm saying? Be patient. Be patient. You got to understand, man. You really got to understand when it comes to certain things, especially like changing the way that you eat. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the culture that we are in. We are in the wilderness of North America. That's where we are at. That's where we are located. So when you coming out the gate, talking about you vegan, talking about you plant-based, fruitarian, whatever the case may be, that's a culture shock to the average person. So when you are entertaining a person and that's what you bring into the table out the gate, it's a culture shock. You know what I'm saying? They used to eating any and everything. The pork, the chicken, the turkey, the candy, the all that. They used to that. So when you telling them that, yo, you know what I'm saying, I'm vegan and I would like for, you know what I'm saying, if we gonna come together and create a family, I would like for us to, you know what I'm saying, have that common ground. It's a culture shock, man. Give them time. You can't expect for people to make those type of changes overnight, in a week, in a month. Things like that take time. Takes time. It's a culture shock. And a lot of times, brothers don't be having patience. They don't be having patience when it comes to things like this. All four elements, for sure, baby food, for sure. Classic drip. Now, with that, like I said, we always get to the root of why that is. And the root, again, is systemic, man. It's systematic. So we got to understand why we even feel like that in the first place. And like I said, the reason why we feel like that in the first place is because how the system has divided us. You know what I'm saying? And the system divided us in a manner to where black women feel like they are able to, They ain't even feel like. They are able to pretty much fend for themselves out here because it was made beneficial for them to eliminate the man. And the government could take care of them to the point where they able to, you know what I'm saying, provide the basic necessities for their children and for themselves. So that the system designed it in a way to where they was able to survive without that man, and that led to that mentality. That led to that mentality. So when we get to the origin of that, we got to continue as black men to show and prove why that is fallacious, why that is not an actual fact. We just got to continue to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? We never give up. We never lose hope. We never lose hope on the sisters. We never do that, just like we would not want them to give up on us. You know what I'm saying? The same token, when we feel like they don't want to be led by us, in the same breath, a lot of sisters feel like we not trying to lead them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at it from both perspectives. We got to get into how they feel versus how we feel like they feel. You know what I'm saying? So we got to pay attention to what the sisters are actually saying, not what we think that they are saying, because these sisters are letting us know some things. But a lot of times the way our perceptions kind of distort that reality. We not taking the intel a lot of times in regards to the things that they are saying towards us. We not taking those things and we not doing anything about what they saying. Instead, we get emotional sometimes and say, well, women do this, that, and the third. No, sometimes we got to pay attention to what they are actually saying, especially if it's a common denominator, if a lot of them are saying the same things. So a lot of this, man, we just got to listen to one another. Because at the same time, when we feel like black women don't want to be led, they have a lot of negative feelings towards us. And at the end of the day, the only way that we can bridge the gap is if we continue to listen to the other sides and strive to just make adjustments. You know, so each side feels a certain type of way about the other side. But in the same breath, we have prime examples of black men and black women together. So we know, like, everything that I'm saying, we have prime examples of these type of relationships, these type of marriages, whatever you want to refer to it as. So it's never a point where we should give up on the other side. Never do that. Even if it appears as if there is no hope, never give up, man. Just never give up. Because we got a duty. You know what I'm saying? We got a duty, and we got to understand our magnetism as black men. We just got to be more assertive with it. And sometimes we got to get aggressive with the message. We got to get aggressive with the information and just promoting certain things out here so we can change the narrative. So a lot of that is on us as well. You know what I'm saying? If we want to change the narrative, we got the power to do that. We as black men have the power to change the narrative because it's a narrative out here about us. We just got to shift that narrative. We got, like I said previous times, we have more power than we know. We have more power than the world gives us credit for. We have more power than the world gives us credit for. We have a ton of power as black men. We have a ton of power to shift the narratives that's out here. We have a lot of power. A lot of power. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, even going back to the math, like we are the foundation. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, like, that's power right there. That's power. Knowing that you the foundation, black man, like, listen, you got a lot of power, man. You got a lot of power to shift these narratives in these women. Got a lot of power. Got a lot of power. Now, of course, I'm not out here telling you to shift the narrative in all the women out here. All you need to do is shift the narrative in one. All you need to do is find one. Some people believe in polygamy, find several. But for the most part, all you need to do is shift the narrative for one. Then when you shift the narrative for one, and when you out here living the reality as one, you giving other brothers hope. Like, oh man, dude out here, you know what I'm saying? He done found a son, man, there is hope. So the more of us that's out here showing and proving that there is hope, like, that's all we need. That's all we need. That's all we need. Infinite Charms, peace, what's happening? Sheep stay sleep, peace, what's the word? Oh, 4 elements for sure, and that's what we do, live in mathematics. That's how we just live it out. You, man, listen, when your magnetic is strong as a black man, listen, you can change it. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I'm gonna give you a prime example of why I say don't sleep on a lot of sisters. in regards to statements like they don't want to be led. I'm gonna take a nation like the Nation of Islam, for example. The Nation of Islam, if you don't know what they teach, like, then just get hip to it. But you had a lot of sisters, and it's the thing. People make assumptions because the Nation of Islam revolves around a lot of sisters that's following the lead of their men. And people are making an assumption that these sisters that's a part of the Nation of Islam are not educated. They can't be educated if they just following the lead of these men. The Nation of Islam is filled with a lot of educated and wise sisters. So that's showing you right there that it's possible. You just got to have the right magnetic. It's a lot of sisters, man, that walked in the Nation of Islam being led by a man. And I'm talking about it's an intelligent sister. A sister that got more credentials than the dude that she following into the nation. It's a lot of women that they gravitated toward the Nation of Islam, and they got way more education than Elijah Muhammad had. You know what I'm saying? But they still gravitated towards the message of that black man. And they took the lead of that black man. So it's hope. It's hope. Like it's hope out here. It's hope. It's a lot of hope. It's a lot of hope. You know what I'm saying? Just keep standing on your square as a black man. I'm telling you, you're gonna attract the right sister. You're gonna attract her. You're gonna attract her. You are going to attract a man when you stand on your square as a black man. Again, a black man with knowledge of himself. You're going to attract exactly what it is that you need. You're going to attract that sister that you need, man. You're going to attract that sister. And when you attract that sister, you teach that sister. And people don't understand. Teaching is something that's very complicated. Teaching is not simple. Teaching is not easy. You know what I'm saying? I train for a living. Like I have to teach people how to do certain exercises. It's not simple. You know what I'm saying? The first time I show somebody how to do a squat, they not going to master a squat. They may not master a squat until 6 months after I continue to teach them how to do the squat. So I might have to spend week after week after week teaching them how to properly do a squat, and they may not master it until months later. So people got to understand how complicated it is to teach. Teaching is not something that's necessarily easy. So a lot of times we start presenting information to these sisters, and then we get upset when they not getting it or they not trying to implement it instantly. Teaching is a process, man. Teaching is a process, man. Again, you got to listen. Teaching is not simple. Teaching is not simple. Teaching is not simple. So we gotta understand that teaching is not simple at all. It's not simple. So a lot of and why I say that, a lot of brothers think that they are out here teaching, but they really not. They really not. You know what I'm saying? So again, when you got the right magnetic and when you master the art of teaching, it's hard for a woman to not be attracted to that. It's hard for a woman to not want to follow a man that has actually mastered the art of teaching. And like I said, part of mastering the art of teaching is understand how to communicate to different people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm in a training field. So if I'm showing somebody how to do a squat, some people, they good with seeing me do a squat and then they just mimicking what I do. Other people, it's like I gotta verbally spit it out in regards to the directions. I gotta walk them down step by step by step how to do this squat verbally. Like them watching me do it is not doing anything. I gotta verbally give them instructions while they are doing it, and that helps them. So it's different learning styles. So a lot of times brothers think that they are teaching simply because they are supplying information to a woman. That teaching is bigger than supplying information. It's way bigger than that. So teaching is more than just giving somebody information. Teaching is different, man. Teaching is learning how they learn and then reaching them where they are at. You know what I'm saying? If they more hands-on, it's like, boom, we gonna be hands-on with it. If they, you know what I'm saying, if they good with getting things verbally, then boom, I'm gonna do that. So teaching is a process. Teaching is a process. The Swarthy Wizard, peace, appreciate that donation. Louisiana, peace, what's happening, my brother? Antoinette, peace queen, what's the word? Mr. 7, peace, what's happening? Yeah, prodigal son of mom. I'm telling you, like I said, people sleep on the Nation of Islam. I'm telling you, the Nation of Islam took a lot of brothers off the streets. You know what I'm saying? It just basically reformed them, and it took a lot of sisters, man. I'm telling you, a lot of if you do the knowledge to the Nation of Islam and some of the sisters, a lot of times you don't hear a lot about the sisters in the Nation of Islam. Like these are some strong-minded sisters in the Nation of Islam that they are following the doctrine where the doctrine is encouraging them to follow the lead of their man. You know what I'm saying? And these are not dumb women. These are not dumb women at all. You know, so again, that and we got to eliminate that too. A lot of times when other women see women following the lead of a man, they start thinking that woman must not have a mind of her own, that she dumb, she not educated, she not intelligent. That's probably the highest form of intelligence. And I'm gonna tell you a Jew, you know what I'm saying? Just outside of the woman saying, okay, listen, I'm gonna follow the lead of this man. It's almost like having a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have a mentor, a black man that's older than myself, that's giving me some knowledge, that's giving, like in the nation that I'm in, we got to have enlighteners, somebody that's giving you the lessons. Like I gotta humble myself. I gotta say, man, listen, I don't know anything. I'm about to listen. I'm gonna listen to this man. He been here longer than I have. He didn't experience more. I'm gonna humble myself. The stuff that I think I know, like forget that. It's not important right now. I'm gonna listen to such and such. That's the highest form of intelligence. Being able to humble yourself and say, man, I'm gonna listen to what they gotta say. I'm gonna let you lead right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you guide me in a direction right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you guide me. I'm gonna follow your lead right now. You know what I'm saying? You done walk this path, so you know something about it. So I'm gonna let you guide me right now. That's a form of intelligence. That don't mean that somebody is dumb. That don't necessarily mean that somebody is lost. So people gotta eliminate that notion. People got to eliminate that notion. It ain't saying that I'm going to follow you blindly. Like I'm just trusting your guidance because you have walked this path. This is something that you study. This is something that you live. Now, if I have questions, I'm going to ask. And if I like the response that you give me, then cool. If I don't, then I'm going to continue to ask more questions. And if I'm satisfied with the answers, then I'm going to continue to let you guide. You know what I'm saying? So that's not that. We're not talking about blindly following the person. We're not talking about that. We're talking about trusting a person because they didn't walk the walk, they didn't talk the talk, they didn't did it before, they didn't experience it before, or this is their foundation. This is something that they thrive on. Trusting that person to guide you in the proper direction and asking questions along the way. That's what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about. Dominique, peace, what's happening? Alston, peace, what's the word? So people got to understand what it means to allow somebody to guide you. You know what I'm saying? They tell you business 101, they tell you to have a mentor. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you to have a mentor. They tell you to have these things, man. They tell you to have people like that you can reach out to, man. If you trying to dominate an industry, they tell you to find somebody in the industry that is where you trying to get to, and have that person reach out to that person and try to get mentored by that particular individual. You know what I'm saying? Just humbling yourself, knowing that you don't know everything there is to know about the particular industry because there are people that have done exactly what it is that you're striving to do. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you that. So that's a form of intelligence. Realizing that I can't do this all by myself, and I can't do everything by myself, man. I may need some help. So I may need to seek out some people that have done this before. You know what I'm saying? So that's a form of intelligence. It takes a wise person to do that. It takes a wise person to admit, like, man, all right, I don't know everything. I'm going to trust your guidance. So again, man, don't talk down on these sisters that saying, all right, I'm gonna let this man lead. I'm gonna let this man guide me because I trust him. I trust that he will not steer us in the wrong direction. That's a wise sister. That's an intelligent sister. That's an intelligent sister. That's not a dumb sister. That's not a sister that's not educated. That's not what that is. That's not what that is at all. Trusting the guidance of that man, because again, that man has a certain role. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's that structure, that's that order, that's that discipline that man is supposed to supply and provide. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it is. And if you know anything about a lot of these cultures where the man is guiding, for instance, when it comes down to like the babies and whatnot, the women have a very critical role in teaching the babies. You know what I'm saying? So again, People just acting like dudes out here brainwashing women and things along those lines. Nah, when it comes to the babies, for the most part, a lot of the women gonna teach. Of course, the men gonna add in, you know what I'm saying? They gonna add in wherever they strong at, in regards to the information. They gonna add on there, but like wherever the sister is strong at, she is going to teach. She is going to teach that child. She is going to teach that baby. So again, people don't be understanding these cultures where the women are allowing the man to lead and guide. People have a terrible misunderstanding of these cultures. People have a terrible misunderstanding of that way of life. Terrible misunderstanding. Terrible misunderstanding. They always think it revolves around brainwashing. They always think it revolves around a man telling them what to do and what not to do. First of all, even if that were the case, now again, we're not talking about a man telling you what to do, what not to do in a controlling manner, the way they're trying to control you. But a man that's looking out for your best interest, that say, man, you know what, where you say you going again? I don't know if you might not want to wear that on that side of town to this type of function due to the type of energy that you could receive. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you gonna do you could do what you want to do, but I don't think that that's a wise decision to wear that to where you said you going, because I know the type of crowd there, because I used to go to that place. You know what I'm saying? I used to be one of them dudes, so I know the type of energy that you could receive if you wear certain clothing. So what you about to leave out the house with, I don't know if that's going to attract the right people. And since I'm not going to be there, like I don't know how that's going to look. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I feel comfortable with you going out like into that particular environment wearing that type of clothing. It's somebody that's looking out for you. That's somebody that's looking out for you, man. They done been to a place, they done been in that environment. They know the type of energy that populates that environment. They like, man, listen, you wear that, like that's gonna attract the wrong type of attention. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you won't necessarily want that attention. And again, I'm not going to be able to be there. It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust these men. And the world is crazy out here. So I don't want anything happening to you simply because you wore something that was too revealing. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that's looking out for you. That ain't somebody that's trying to control your life. That's somebody that's trying to look out for you because they know that they're not there to physically protect you. And they don't want you to go out there and place yourself in harm's way. Like intentionally type deal. Again, we know that dudes can be grimy no matter what you got on, but don't make it easier for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody that's just looking out. That's looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? A black man that say, man, I prefer for you to rock your natural hair. That ain't somebody that's necessarily trying to control you. That's just like when somebody's trying to get you to embrace you. You know what I'm saying? We get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to do these different hairstyles, whatever the case may be. But man, a black man saying they prefer you to rock your natural hair, like that's not, we got to chill with that type of energy, man. I'm trying to get you to embrace you. I'm trying to get you to realize that you don't need all this other nonsense to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that. You know what I'm saying? You good rocking your natural crown, rocking your natural look. That's what I prefer. It's not me trying to control you. It's me trying to get you to understand that, hey, without all this nonsense, you good. So we not trying to control you. We not trying to control you at all. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get you to embrace you. We trying to get you to be mindful of the environments when you go out. We trying to get you to do all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you eat in a certain type of way and the black man come around and say, man, listen, that stuff that you eating, that's not necessarily good for your health. You might not want to eat that. You might not want to eat that swine. You might not want to eat this fast food. Like you might want to lay off of this meat every once in a while. That's not a brother that's trying to control you. That's a brother that's concerned about your health. You know what I'm saying? Like if you, again, we say things like them being overweight, you know what I'm saying? And like present a healthier lifestyle to them. It's not a black man trying to control you. It's a black man that's concerned about your overall health and well-being. You know what I'm saying? And again, brothers, when I say that, approach is everything. Approach is everything. Like I said, you got some brothers that present this information and they could mean well, but the approach is off. And then you got some brothers that don't mean well at all. They just trying to control. And you got to understand that too, black man. You have some sisters that have been scarred by those type of brothers before they got to you. So they was with a brother that was trying to control them. So you got to understand that when you understand that is part of the problem here, then you got to be, listen, you got to let off a little bit. You got to watch how you approach. You can't be as aggressive with it. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have bad experiences with brothers telling them what to do. And sadly enough, they had the experiences before you. So you got to understand how to approach that. And that comes with doing the knowledge. If you really digging a sister and you just understand that she has some past traumas and she's scarred, it's a way to get through to that sister, man. You just got to learn. You got to learn, you got to do the knowledge, and you got to be patient if you really feeling that sister. Oh, Shantae for sure. Shantae for sure. Like people talk about fathers needing to be in the lives of the young sons. I think it's equally as important for fathers to be in the lives of the daughters of these young women. I feel like them having a father figure is just as important as a young man having a father figure, and vice versa with them having mother figures. Like, I feel like it's just as important for a young daughter to grow up and see a prime example of a man through her father. I think that is equally as important. That is equally as important. They need to see that. They need to see that manly example in the form of their father. They need to see it. Just like a young son needs to see that example as well. Like that's crucial. Jeff, peace, what's happening? Mansfield, I don't want to say it's a waste of time because, you know what I'm saying, I'm living proof it's not a waste of time. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you're going to find it overnight. I'm not saying it's not a challenging process that you may have to go through. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be struggles, but it's never a waste of time. Literally, nothing like that is a waste of time because at the end of the day, you learning from it. You can learn from anything. Now, if you don't choose to learn from things like this, then that's you wasting your own time at that point. But you can learn from any and everything. So I don't believe in wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always a lesson I can extract from a situation, even if it did not go my way. I can always learn something. I can always take the best part from a situation. So it's never really a waste of time unless I choose not to take the best part. Then essentially I'm wasting my time. But that was my choice to waste my time. But we got to understand that the daughters out here, they need to see they need to have a father figure. They need to see that. It's important. It's important across the board. You know what I'm saying? So these young daughters got to grow up and see what it means to be a man. And a lot of times, like I said, when it comes to being molested and whatnot, a lot of our, you know what I'm saying, a lot of our young queens, they are molested by men and their families. So when you got a situation like that has happened, like you got to understand the trauma that'll put them through. So we got to understand that. We got to stop abusing our young queens, especially if we in the family. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta put an end to things like that. A lot of times that young queen, when she is abused, whether it's verbally or physically, it's going to start first in her own household. She probably gonna be abused by the pops, by an uncle, by a brother. Like, that's where it's gonna come from first for the most part. So we gotta stop that element of it. We gotta start embracing the queens in our families. You know what I'm saying? So we got to, and I'm not saying that we don't have examples like that. I'm not bashing men, say we ain't none of us doing that. We got plenty of upstanding black families out here, you know what I'm saying, where black men are great examples. But the ones that are not, you know what I'm saying, we got to do better jobs, man. Got to do better jobs. Leading by example. You know what I'm saying? Protecting these young queens in the family. Like, I'm not telling you to lay your life on the line for a sister that you have never met, but I'm saying you could at least lay your life on the line for your moms, for your sister, for your aunt, people that took care of you, people that helped raise you and stuff like that. You should do a great job protecting them. You shouldn't be molesting your niece. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be molesting your daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's sick and twisted. You shouldn't be doing those type of things. Those are the queens that you should be uplifting and protecting. Right there. It should start there at least. They should at least feel protected amongst the men in their family. And a lot of times, some sisters don't have that protection. And that's sad. If they can't rely and depend on the men in their own families, then, like, why should they have any hope outside of that? If the men in their own families can't even protect them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand that dynamic, man. We got to understand that. If sisters done been violated by men in their own, I'm talking about men that done raised them. If they done been violated by them, why should they trust you out the gate? Like, why should they trust you out the gate? So again, patience. She was violated by a man in her family. Of course, she's not gonna let her guards down instantly and trust you out the gate. Give her time. If you really digging her, like again, if you're not digging her, then hey, don't do that. Move on. Ain't nobody telling you to put up with it. You don't have to put up with anything from anybody. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody come to you and they supplying an energy that you don't want to put up with, move on. Move on. You're not forced to put up with it. You're not forced to put up with somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that's broken emotionally, all that type of stuff. Nobody forcing you to put up with that. Nobody is forcing you to try to fix this person. Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. TV and 2 for sure. You got a lot of that out here. You know what I'm saying? They hit us with reality TV and things along those lines, and everybody wanted the Will and Jada love, because what was that? J. Cole that said that? Whoever said they wanted that Will and Jada love. So we didn't have bad examples because they give you reality TV, and then we want to aspire to be like, we want to aspire to have celebrity relationships, and when you watch reality TV, it ain't nothing but toxicity. You know what I'm saying? So they give us those examples, and we think we want those type of relationships, and those type of relationships be crazy. Like, nah, man, no. So they not going to show healthy black love out here. They going to show healthy white love. They not going to show healthy black love. That's why I said those of us that are in those situations, we got to do a better job of promoting it and advertising it, because they not going to do it, which is part of the design that I'm talking about. Part of the design. It's part of the design. You know what I'm saying? So they not gonna show it to us. They gonna show us dysfunction. They gonna make it seem like it's normal for black relationships to be dysfunctional. See, that's the norm for us. We got to, it's to the point where if a black woman thinking she ain't getting on her man's nerves, then the relationship ain't healthy. That's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of image that they have given us in the media. If a black woman thinking she ain't getting on her man's nerves, then this relationship ain't right. She got to be getting on her man's nerves. You know, that's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. It's like, man, I ain't getting on his nerves enough. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting on his nerves enough. This relationship ain't working. It ain't spicy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't spicy enough. We got to have an argument or something. Let me spark an argument. Let me get on his nerves right quick. Like, don't brag about getting on your man's nerves. Like, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. But, like I said, that's happening out here. That's happening out here. But, y'all, man, with that being said, man, my client just pulled on into the lot. So I got to get this last session of the day out the way. Like I said, I had about 45 minutes, close to it. I probably went a little bit over. So now I'm finna tap into this gym, man. I may try to tap in with y'all again tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely Monday. Y'all be easy, man. Enjoy the rest of this weekend. Definitely enjoy this Saturday, man. I appreciate donation, appreciate the comments, all that good stuff. If you didn't catch this from the beginning, rewind that joint and tap in. But I'm out, y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.